So I'm at the 10-year mark in my lock journey, and it's a big deal for me. I started my locks after going back and forth for a while, and then finally committing, and who knew that I would still be on this journey a whole decade later. It's been almost 24 hours, a little less than 24 hours, maybe 20 hours, and I sat under my hooded dryer attachment for about 20 minutes before taking down these perm rods, and this is the result. If you want a more detailed tutorial about how I got this look, you can go ahead and check out my tutorial on how I get perfect spiral curls using perm rods. So I wanted to share with you all just 10 things for the 10 years that I've been locked that I've learned in the process of growing my locks. So the first thing I want to say that everyone says that people who are just starting out on their lock journey will probably roll their eyes to, but is the holy grail, is to be patient. Your locks will grow, they will change with you, and you will change as well. The second thing, again, is consistency. And I feel like I need to tell this to myself, but consistency yields growth. And that's the formula for YouTube. That's the formula for getting better at your craft, whatever that craft might be. And it's also true with your locks. So if you are consistent in making sure you're not combing your hair, you're gonna get locks. If you're consistent in your maintenance routine in terms of either twisting or separating or interlocking, then for sure your locks are going to form and grow. Just be consistent. It might not seem that way at first, but it will. This also works in a negative aspect. So if you're consistently neglecting your locks, you're consistently putting in products or treating your body in a negative way, it's going to eventually show out in your locks and grow in that way. So what you feed grows. Third thing is what's on the inside comes to the surface. In the most literal sense, that means buildup. So if you put heavy products in your locks that can't wash out, eventually it's going to catch up to you if you don't clarify, and you're going to get buildup. But that is also true for so many other things. So if you're just not feeling good and internally in alignment, then eventually it will start popping up in other ways and aspects of your life. So do that maintenance and make sure to stay in alignment and do that checkup. For locks, of course, that's clarifying or ensuring on the front end that the products you're putting in are quality products. A fourth thing that I learned on my 10-year lock journey is it's as complicated as you make it. Some people have a 20-step regimen and it works really well for them. I've seen people on here who have a 2-step regimen, which is to wash, wake, shake, and just once in a while oil. Or some people on here don't even oil their hair. They have 1 or 2 products that they trust and that's what they do. And so it's as complicated as you make it. And for me, I got locks to be carefree, so I choose not to let my hair be a source of anxiety or a source of financial burden, as some people might choose. I'm on a debt-free journey, so it's really useful for me to be able to do my hair and to save that money in my pocket. Before I got locks, I used to go get my braids done every 2-3 months, and that would be a chunk of change. But it's as complicated, it's as expensive, it's as time-consuming, etc., 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 as you make it. And you have a trade-off versus what you want to get out of your locks versus what you want to put into your locks. So, and I think that translates, again, as always with locks, they're always teaching me things, but that translates in a way that life is as complicated as you make it, right? You decide what it is that you hold to be your central values, and you stick to those. If you have tons of things that are non-starters for you, you're going to probably come up across a lot of trials and tribulations, but you'll get the quality product that you want, perhaps. On the other side, if you don't care for anything, you don't put anything into your life, then perhaps that's a negative outcome. One thing that I learned from my locks that I think is cool is that practice makes perfect. So I wasn't really good at retwisting when I started. I didn't know very many styles when I started, but over the last 10 years of doing it over and over again, whether it's once a year, twice a year, or every month or every week, I've gotten really good at certain things. Someone mentioned that they watched me retwist my hair while laying down watching TV and that they could never do it. And I was like, I hadn't thought about that, but I've done it so many times now that my hands just know where to go and how to retwist without me even looking or trying. So practice made perfect in that instance, and it's really parallel to the principle of consistency. Consistency and practice go really well hand in hand together, of principles that you learn on the lock journey. Thing number 6 that I learned from my locks is that you never know who's watching. So when I started my lock journey, there weren't very many other people around me who had locks except for my best friend at the time. But in the 10 years that I've had locks, a lot of people around me have started theirs, and they'll reach out and they'll be like, hey, what do you do for the itchies? Or hey, how do you get your hair to hold a curl for more than a week? And it's, I never noticed that people are watching and noticing my hair, but they are. And perhaps in some aspects, I lead by example, and I let people know that, hey, locks are versatile, and also they can be beautiful. And I think that translates into so many other aspects of life. As everything with locks, I'm going to say this for every single point I'm going to mention clearly, but it's true, right? You never know who's watching, who's being inspired by you, who's taking notes, and when you embark on a journey and you take a step out on faith, that might be the pathway for other people after you to come along and do the same. And that's what I learned by starting my lock journey and being on it for 10 years. Ooh, okay, here's the practical one, number 7. Hair dye, when done incorrectly and not professionally and not followed up by a moisturization routine, leads to breakage and damage. I think I have sung this song into the grave, but I continue to see the repercussions of hair dye that I used back in years 4, 5, 6 of my lock journey, and I'm losing 6 inches at a time, 2 inches at a time, just getting weak spots in my locks. Yeah, so it just taught me, for me, what I learned from that is to just let my hair grow the way that it does. If I'm gonna try something that might be potentially damaging, then I need to incorporate some other practices that are enriching to my routine. And I am a lazy Pam sometimes, so or a lazy Larry. I'm a lazy person sometimes, so I don't always follow up with my routine and moisturize as I should. And as someone who is a little lazy, perhaps that means that I will be staying away from hair color and dyeing my locks as I continue this lock journey. And perhaps in the future, if I start another set or I decide to dye again, I will either go and get professional help and maintenance done to my hair, or I'll just have to add a really thick creamy conditioner or some better high quality products. I tend to use cheaper bottom shelf products in my hair because I find that they clarify and get rid of buildup, but they can be really harsh. And when your hair has already gone through a chemical process that strips it of its natural coating and its natural barrier, then it leads to breakage in the future. So that's something I learned, number 7, from my 10-year lock journey. Number 8 is something I say a lot, but thick products are the devil for me, and lighter oils or lighter oils, lighter shampoos tend to work better for my hair based on my hair texture. And it's a lesson I've learned over and over again. Once in a while I forget and I cave and I get a creamy product or I get a thick product because it looks good or it smells good, and it always results in buildup for me. So for me and my lock journey, I need to stay away from those thicker, heavy creams or thicker, heavy products that don't rinse off at body temperature or with room temperature with just simple water. Something else, number 9, that I learned from my lock journey is to document the process as much as possible. I really love going back and looking at where I started, looking at where I was in year 2, 3, 4 when I thought my hair was really long and comparing it to where I am now. And it inspires me to keep going, but it also just reminds me to be humble when I'm out there, but also I love it. I don't know. There's just something about seeing progress and keeping stock of things and having an inventory, and once in a while just going back and just being like, this is where I am now, and this is where I started, and this is where I'm going. I love that. So that's thing number 9 for me, is to document, document, document. And thing number 10 that I learned was that everything is better in community. So since I started my locks, my husband has started his locks, and I have a few friends at work who've also started locks within the last year or two. And it's been really nice to have people to be in locks community with. So we trade products once in a while. So someone might run out of oil and I'll make them some from my stash. And it's just really nice to do things in community. And I think that's always been true for me, even at the beginning of my lock journey, before I had anyone really close to me in my life with locks. I would come to YouTube, and YouTube was my community, and that helped me to stay motivated. So locks for me are really great in community and help me to form community with other like-minded individuals. So that's it, everybody. That's all of the 10 things I learned in the 10 years of having locks. If you like this video, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below. Are there any things that you've learned along your lock journey that are surprising to you? I clearly love to make these videos. I love to reflect upon my lock journey and to think about the things that I've learned from it, because I think my locks have grown along with me and have helped to shape my character in a positive way. And so I like to share that with you all. For those who might be thinking about starting a lock journey, wanting to get a perspective about what it's like to have locks and what are the benefits of locks. I think there are spiritual benefits, not in the mystical, magical ways, but just in the way of building your character and learning more about yourself and how you interact with the world. Anyway, as always, I'm still very much on my lock journey, and I will see you in